Hello everyone, this is Jebro, and today we're going to be talking about the engineer, and we're going to be talking about what you can still be using for it to be effective, what's been replaced, and maybe just how the way I've been playing it, because people have been asking me, and I do build videos, and I'm not saying this is the meta, but it's not going to change that much for the engineer anyway, because there are certain things it needs to have to be competitive and to be useful in the meta and in the competitive play. So when you're thinking about build, as usual, you got to think about what you're coming up against, and that's going to be conditions and also mainly power damage coming from a revenant or potentially even a thief in future. Two things which conditions, obviously engineer is very, has issues against anyway, but then of course, you can have utility which can negate a lot of power damage coming onto you. So, revenant, we used, say, the gyro, or we used whatever, elixir S, we had block obviously and whatnot as well, and also evading through rocket charge. Now rocket charge, leap finishes have been actually nerfed, but that's only to 2. Healing turret, of course, was nerfed, giving us an extra 0.25 second recharge, cast time, which you may not think is a lot, but it does feel like a lot when you're under pressure. Of course, there are some other nerfs here and there, but those are the kind of big ones. So if we go into the game, of course, which is where we are right now, you can see I've got Blast Gyro, and this is myself. This is what I'm playing at the moment, and it feels very useful. It's to grab myself some extra stealth as well, because I can actually use this for my gyro to get that off, as well as escaping, rezzing allies as well, obviously using Elixir S in combination with that, which I still miss and I love a lot. Still get super speed. Obviously Slick Shoes got a bit nerfed. When you knock down an opponent, they only get knocked down once. When they get back up and walk back over the slick, they don't get knocked down again. So for some reason, apparently now people can't slip over stuff more than once, so that makes sense in real life, I suppose. But hey, we're playing in an MMO fantasy game. But anyway, that's another issue I have. Okay, Slick Shoes was very, very strong and very powerful. It's one of the main things that kept the engineer so kept it in the meta. Obviously survivability had to be nerfed a tad as well, which is another reason why we're having a couple of problems, because survivability's been nerfed and so is Slick Shoes, and now we're kind of like, not one of the top builds anymore, not one of the top classes, but hey ho, that's a thing. So let's go on and talk about the build itself. Inventions, alchemy and scrapper, that's not really changed. Reason we're picking up alchemy, of course, we've got some protection as well as condition removal. Through alchemical tinctures as well. So that's another reason why I like the having just an elixir in there, because I can get rid of some extra condition, and I can, get rid of extra conditions through my elixir S anyway. So that's why I've kind of run that. Obviously, elixir gun, still getting some condition removal through the normal abilities that we would do as well. Very, very strong to have that. Elixir gun is pretty much needed in every single engineer build you have when you're going into queue, because of the condition removal, and then you're running alchemy always, and you need another heal. This heal cooldown still, even though it got nerfed the patch before this, I think it was 90, now it's 120. Still very, very strong. Obviously we're going to grab some stability and extra damage from the hammer as well over in scrapper line. Still going to have swiftness and super speed giving us the heal. This is another thing they nerfed. This was one of the other big massive changes. They nerfed this as well. It was 405 as far as I remember on super speed as the base there, and now it's 101 for swiftness. I can't remember exactly the numbers and the percentages they nerfed this by, but they nerfed it, and it's noticeable. So obviously we still want to make sure we have some kind of super speed, and we want to still make sure we have an availability to swiftness. So of course we've still got glob shot, which can give us swiftness as well, cooldown of 8 seconds, and the swiftness is 3.5 seconds, so not too bad. Of course we've got bounces there as well, and then obviously we can get conditions converted to boons. We can get swiftness from other players, so it's not too bad. Now in this build specifically, I'm actually running Holbrack Rune. Now I could run Pack to give extra swiftness duration and get swiftness and fury and whatnot as well, which could be an option, but still, because I'm going to the final salvo line, I'm not getting adaptive armor, so obviously can do condition damage reduction needed elsewhere through Holbrack. So you're always thinking about these things. What's going to go together? What's going to synergize well together? And this makes sense. So of course, we have still have a lot of defensive capability. And one of the main changes was definitely going to be going through Sneak Gyro now. It feels like it's too useful. Elixir X, still really, really strong, and we'll still see it in my opinion. But the stealth is really, really useful to get yourself out of crap, basically. And obviously, like, combining it up with Blast Gyro as well is going to really, really help. So what does Blast Gyro do? Let's just go over this quickly. So obviously when you've got someone targeted is when you need to use it. When you target someone, it hurls a dart at them and they seek them out and it detonates. It's got stability, you can see in blue there, through the traits of course, and it gives a nice knockback. It does say unblockable of course as well. So let's have a look at it in action. That's the tag, and then it's going to actually detonate right there as long as he's right next to you. If you've got a target and you're still running around, you can just detonate it when you need to, and it'll produce that lightning field as well. So of course if you blast the lightning field, you can get yourself some swiftness. So here you go, and there we go. We're going to grab some swiftness as well. So of course, we can grab ourselves a ton of swiftness and combo that again with the elixir gun, of course. So Good. Another way to combo up the gyro as well. So he's gonna get stability, and he could also get bypass coating as well, which is gonna give him some super speed because this is for allies as well as yourself. So let's just have a look here. Let's combo this up. So tag him, boom. Get super speed. You saw that for a fraction of a second there as well, and you get the knockback. So you get the heal as well that comes out of super speed, and you obviously get the lightning field, which gives you super speed as well, and you obviously get the knockback and the daze as well that comes out from the field. So, well, he's knocked out of the field more often than not, which is unfortunate, but that's kind of just the way it is. But anyway, not a bad again for doing what you need to do. Let's just finish this guy off quickly. Boom. See, elixir gun, still good. That's good, really good for range still. If they're running off and you can't get hold of them, and you haven't got rocket charge left as well. The first ability on tranquilizer dart, still does enough damage. It's still nice kind of follow up damage, and you can give weakness and bleeding and whatnot as well, which is always nice. A little bit of pressure as they try and get away is always good. So things like like I said, combinations, stealth gyro, as well as pulling out your gyro, making sure it's got actual super speed as well to get in there very fast, as well as having stability, is not too bad. But you don't always need to use that super speed on the tool belt 4 to for your actual gyro to hit, because he's got stability as well, so it's not too bad. But it's always good, I reckon, to pop that off if possible. You don't need to, obviously, it's not always the case, and you may need it just to grab yourself some super speeds later on, of course. Then we've got Elixir S. Now most people are using Bulwark Gyro as well to make, for revenants and whatnot, and for a lot of the burst damage that's coming out onto you, and also for, if they're using this trait, the extra stability that comes out, as well as the super speed as well. Now, I'd argue that maybe Bulwark Gyro is probably going to be used a lot more, but for my own playstyle, for fun, I'm using Elixir S, and Elixir S is something I've always loved using. It gives you extra might, you can remove a condition, obviously the duration has been increased, so everything in blue, of course, means that, it's been augmented through your trait line. It does break stun as well, and also you have a stealth over on the Toss Elixir S, and that gives you even more might, so you can get some more damage off, you can remove another condition, and you can stealth yourself, and you can stealth your gyro, so you don't even need to use your massive Sneak Gyro cooldown. You can use the smaller Toss Elixir S cooldown, which is always good. I can pop off my say if I'm over here, there we go, you stealthed for a moment. You get the idea. I mean, you don't have to use it like that, but I've been kind of doing that in places where my target is so far away. And I've just stealthed the gyro, and yeah, I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun with it anyway. It's all good. But yeah, I mean, there's many different reasons why you could use different utilities at the moment. Elixir Gun is just a definite 100% need because of the condition removal, because Acid Bomb is so strong, because you can grab yourself some swiftness. It's a really good utility weapon. It gives condition removal to your allies. It gives poison, puts poison on your enemies. It heals as well. You know, it's got everything. Also, you know, it's a good gap closer. It's also good for mobility. It's good for escaping. It's too good to not take, right? It's too good. Sneak Gyro again, you know, getting out of jail free almost most of the time with Sneak Gyro. Obviously there's that cast time, which is fairly annoying, but you know, that's a thing. Detection Pulse as well, especially if Thief is going to be a thing in the future in the meta, or is going to be a pickup class at least. Then, you know, you can reveal your enemies as well, so that's going to be extremely useful, especially for, you know, other engineers that are stealthing using Sneak Gyro, if anyone else is in that field, as well as thieves, that if they do get a stealth off, you know, obviously if they've been blasting or they've actually been using their stealth quite effectively. So very, very good to try and pick up those stealthed players. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of utility still to this build. It's still very useful. It's still quite, it's not, I wouldn't say it's really, really strong, because we're still, you know, a lot of damage from Revenants still, a lot of damage even from Thieves, a lot of condition damage coming from Mesmers still, even still from Necro. Even though Chill has been nerfed on the Necro, there's still a lot of conditions that come out which are very, very punishing towards an engineer, especially. So yeah, I mean, this is just a little chat about the build. It's still very, very similar to what it was. Obviously I made a build before, but I just want to talk about some of the changes and the things that you can think about, you know, when you're playing as well, when you want to think about practicing a competitive build for Season 3, of course, in the game. Then, you know, think about what you want to do. You don't have to go for the meta builds that the pro players are playing, because you're not always going to be going up against teams that are playing those same compositions, you know, especially in solo queue. So think about these utilities. Elixir Gun, tick that off your list. That's what you need to be using. And then the rest of these you need to play with. Like things like, you know, you could even go for Purge Gyro if you know you're going up against a ton of condition damage. You just see like 3 Necros and 2 Mesmers on the opposite team. You know there's going to be a lot of conditions and not a massive amount of burst, so you could go for something like that. So this is just me thinking about everything I'm coming up against at the moment in terms of solo queue, but you know, obviously meta wise it's likely going to be something similar to this. Obviously, no, adaptive armor again is another thing which people change to. Like I said before, we all know what those builds could be. But anyway, I've been Jebro. Thanks for watching this video. Leave a comment below if you feel this is crap and wasn't useful. And yeah, just wanted to talk about exactly what I'm thinking at the moment. I've been playing this for about 3 or 4 days because I've actually moved very recently, so still haven't had a lot of time, but I just wanted to get something out to you guys. I'll see you in the near future. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and thanks for watching the video. Hello everyone, this is Jebro, and today we're talking about the Elementalist. We're talking about a bunker build with the dagger and the focus offhand. My focus looks very cool, I'm not going to lie. Let's just have a look at that. It's a Chak, what's it called? Chak focus, and it's a hand that you actually wear on your hand. I actually think that's